Moving on to other updates, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi is attending a first ever summit with 5 Nordic countries. On April 17, the 5 Nordic countries will be looking to give fresh impetus to their ties with India. The Indian leader will also be meeting the leaders of Sweden, Norway, Finland, Denmark and Iceland to discuss a range of global issues. Trade and investment as well as the environment are on the agenda. Here's a report telling you more.
This is the first ever India-Nordic summit, which places India as the point of interest for the 5 Nordic nations seeking to boost ties with the country. India is co-hosting the summit with Sweden, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi is therefore to be received by His Majesty King Carl XVI Gustaf, King of Sweden. He will also hold bilateral meetings with the Swedish Prime Minister Stefan Löfven. The Indian Prime Minister will also be meeting members of the business community in Sweden. It's worth mentioning India's trade with Sweden is around $1.8 billion every year, and over 170 Swedish companies have invested some $1.4 billion in India over the past 2 decades. Sweden's flagship IKEA has just entered the Indian market, bringing its unique lifestyle brand to the country, and is said to be looking at empowering the female workforce in India.
India is such a huge market for Swedish technologies and skill development programs. For instance, if we were to talk about the skill development programs, some of the Swedish companies like Volvo, Scania, the Carl Bennet Group, IKEA, which has recently entered the Indian market, they have undertaken projects to skill women force. The workforce relating to women. For instance, IKEA has taken a decision that 50% of their workforce in India is going to be women.
Another almost ritualistic event for PM Modi is to meet the local Indian community, and in Stockholm it will be no different. Indians in Sweden feel India can gain from Sweden's environmental drive, technology and culture.
I think Sweden can help technically and environmentally, because India do need, other than political, environment is a big thing. I think India can get help from Sweden or other Nordic countries.
In 2016-2017 alone, India's trade with the region was of $5.3 billion, while foreign direct investment was of $2.5 billion. The Nordic countries indeed have globally recognized strengths in clean technologies, environmental solutions, port modernization, food processing, health, agriculture, infrastructure, skill development and innovation. And all of these are India's top priorities.
It's the first time that India is having engagement to Europe through not the European Union, but through a different format, that is the India-Nordic Summit. So clearly a lot of deliverables are expected, and of course bilaterals are going to happen with all the 5 Nordic countries, and of course with Sweden also. And it's after 3 decades that any Indian Prime Minister is coming to Sweden. With video journalist Ramesh, Siddhant Sibal, WION, Sweden.
The warmth of India's friendship under the Northern Lights, Prime Minister Modi heads to Stockholm for India's first ever summit with Nordic countries. WION reports on the bilateral talks and the big summit.
It's only second time in history that all the 5 Nordic countries are holding summit with one country. The first time it happened was during the tenure of former US President Barack Obama.
Business and trade, smart cities and climate change on the agenda.
Join me, Siddhant Sibal from Stockholm, on what the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's move to build closer ties with Nordic countries mean.